There's just about 1 million bees in 21 different hives right behind me. Now these hives are situated in what seems like a pretty empty field, but they actually have a purpose for being here other than just producing honey, restoring this habitat back to its original condition. Now, these hives are located on a piece of land called South Buda Creek, a piece of land that used to be home to historic habitat, incredibly productive wetlands. But in the past, probably last 100 years, this entire area was turned into corn rows specifically for the purpose that it was productive habitat. Habitat that has a lot of stuff growing on it, has a lot of nutrients in the soil, and a lot of things that farm crops like that farmers would usually have to pay for. In 1993, the city bought this land away from the farmers in an effort to restore the habitat it once was. They planted native vegetation like willows and valley oaks and primroses in an effort to get it back to that point, but getting it back there is a big ask, especially when you're starting with a field. Natural services like pollination just aren't available or around because this area is surrounded by farmland. That's not exactly habitat that these pollinators and animals and other providers of these services want to live in. So a workaround is needed. And a workaround that a lot of farms and orchards use is bringing hives in to provide these pollinators and sort of get a jump start on it. Once this habitat is up and going, these bees aren't really needed, but at least for that starting point, there needs to be something to provide these services on the land. And these bees can provide exactly that. While they're making honey, they can go to the plants nearby, pollinate them, and sort of provide these services that weren't available, making it so this habitat can actually start up. Admittedly, it is a little bit far from the point where these bees are needed on this land. There's a big population of plants, animals, and pollinators that can do all the services that these bees provide for itself and for the habitat and farmland nearby. Though, it's still interesting to have them here, and it definitely couldn't hurt. They sort of tell the story of how bringing something like bees in can actually really help a native population, even if it's a man-made hive or something like that. And it's pretty interesting that they can provide these services while making delicious honey, even if it is a little scary to have that many bees behind me.